Hello, lovely friend. I am Dr. Mary Barson.
And I'm Dr. Lucy Burns.
And this is the Real Health and Weight Loss Podcast. Hello, lovely listeners. Dr. Mary here. And today I am joined by the fabulous nutritionist, Ellie McLean. We have had her on the podcast before and we're extremely happy to have her again today. Ellie is a holistic nutritionist who specialises in healthy, holistic weight loss. And she's here today to talk to us about weight loss. So lovely, Ellie McLean, as someone who is interested in weight loss, in healthy weight loss, what are your thoughts on pursuing weight loss for weight loss's sake, or where do you put weight loss in this whole health, metabolic health, holistic framework?
Well, first of all, can we come to this statement like healthy at any weight? Because it's something that bugs me. The reality is that there will become a point where excess weight, excess body fat is unhealthy and is going to compromise somebody's longevity and also their quality of life. Do we need to get so fixated on weight loss that we try and achieve it at any cost? Absolutely not, which I know you will stand by and say. So what I always come back to is that weight is a symptom. If somebody is carrying excess weight, they are overweight or obese, it will be a reflection of something that's going on under the hood, something that needs to be taken care of, and they may not know exactly what that is, but it is a reflection. It's a warning light on the dashboard that something has gone awry, amiss, and we need to address that. Don't get me wrong, there are people that can get fixated on losing weight for the sake of a certain aesthetic and looking a certain way, and that's a really tricky space to work in as a practitioner, because there's that moral sort of quandary of like, well, I know this person has a goal around losing weight and I don't want them to go to someone else who's going to, support them in, becoming underweight. But I also can't hand on my heart say that I'm helping them to become healthier if I help them to lose weight. So fundamentally, I want to help people be healthy. And if carrying excess weight is the warning light to them that they're not healthy, then, we need to treat that excess weight. But really, to treat the weight, we have to treat the underlying contributor to the excess weight.
Yes. And we talk a lot about that in this podcast, but I'd love you to expand on, what is those underlying contributors that we need to address if we want people to lose weight healthily.
Yeah. Well, social media would have us believe that the only reason somebody would ever be overweight is because they eat too much and exercise too little. And most people listening to this show would likely have experienced that exercising more and eating less and trying to purely focus on that negative energy balance doesn't always work. And so we have to get a little more strategic. We have to be a little more smarter about how we approach losing weight. And that's when we've got to look at what the underlying causes could be. Don't get me wrong, energy imbalance could be a driver for someone's excess weight, but chances are there are a host of other things that could be contributing to somebody's excess weight. And these are things that we can pretty quickly figure out, usually through an initial consultation or through some simple pathology. So underlying causes of carrying excess weight that don't involve eating too much and not exercising enough are potentially simple things like eating at the wrong times, not sleeping enough, not taking care of stress levels. It could be slightly more progressed pathology like nutrient deficiencies, in particular things like iron deficiency, B12 deficiency. It could be hormone imbalances, so thyroid hormone imbalances, blood sugar controlling hormone imbalances like insulin excess, hyperinsulinemia or insulin resistance. They're all sort of the same thing. Or reproductive hormone imbalances as well. So things like estrogen excess may make it hard for somebody to burn body fat effectively. So I've just made it sound really, really simple, but there are a host of things that could be holding somebody back from achieving a healthy weight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I too think that there is really important nuances we need to put around the health at every size movement. I know it's a heterogeneous group, like it's not everybody who is, agrees with Hayes has exactly the same viewpoint, and I'm not suggesting that they do. But this general idea that our weight doesn't matter and that we can just ignore it and focus entirely on other health parameters. And also an aspect of the health at any size movement is that you can't change your weight anyway, so it's unethical to tell people that they should. I think that misses a really important point, that it isn't necessarily the weight so much as what is underneath it. But excess weight can be both a cause and a consequence of whatever that unbalance is that's making people unhealthy, and that addressing it in a way that promotes health and longevity and better energy and better mental health and better self-esteem and all of these things is a great thing to do. So weight loss itself isn't a dirty word. And people who want to help people lose weight, like you, like me, we're not, out there fat shaming people by any stretch, but we do want people to be their healthiest versions. And sometimes weight loss is a part of that. And I'd also say that if you want to lose weight, like if you just have a weight loss goal, you're allowed to. That doesn't mean you're buying into toxic diet culture. If you want to lose weight to be healthier, or you want to lose weight to, fit back into your genes, you're allowed to. Like there is definitely a way to be completely healthy and want that. But similarly, you can be healthy and be in a heavier body as well. But it's the health. It's the health. The health is what we want.
Absolutely.
And
just on going back to the healthier any weight movement. I posted about it said something about it last year, and I felt like, oh my God, I was going to be hated on by the whole of social media for saying that the statement, it could not be true. And I said instead, we can be lovable at any weight. So it's not to say that somebody who is carrying extra weight or overweight is not as lovable as somebody who is not carrying extra weight. But fundamentally, we know that risk of cancers and metabolic disease and a whole host of other conditions go up when there is overweight or obesity. So those things need to be addressed. And it's not saying that those people are any less than anybody else, but there are consequences of carrying that extra weight, just like you said.
And you don't need to achieve some weight loss goal to be worthy and wonderful and to deserve to be happy in everything. I don't look like a fitness model, and I don't think I ever will. But I'm healthy, and I don't need to be aesthetically beautiful to be worthy and happy and strong and to live my absolute best life. And also, I used to be obese, and not being obese now does make my life easier and better and healthier. It truly does.
Yeah. And to those people that want to lose weight without being overweight or obese, there isn't anything wrong with that. And I will get clients who just want to lose a couple of kilos because they do want to fit back into the pants that they were able to wear last season that they can't wear this season. And similar to, those people that are overweight or obese needing to lose weight, I come back to health. So if somebody is carrying a few extra kilos and really wants to lose that weight, and we've done everything, and we know that they are healthy. Like, insulin levels are great, their thyroid's working perfectly, they're eating at great times, they're exercising, they've got wonderful appetite control, they're healthy, they're sleeping well, they've got a regular menstrual cycle if they're a female or assigned female at birth. If all of those things are really wonderful, in a wonderful place, and they are eating well, of course, and they can't lose those final kilos, that's when I say, how important is it for you to lose these final kilos? Because we have to come back to being healthy. If you have to start taking on unhealthy practices and leave health behind you to achieve that few kilos of weight loss, do we need to reconsider why you need to lose those few kilos of weight? That often comes up for me in practice as well.
I love that, and exploring that. And what kind of things do you find when people start exploring that? Like, I'm really healthy, but I'm not reaching some particular ideal. What kind of conclusions do you get?
For a lot of women in particular, it's going back to an older, or comparing themselves to an older version of themselves. They're 45. They continue coming back to this 25-year-old version of themselves, for example, and they use that as their barometer, their marker, and that is really the audience that have the most trouble disassociating from the younger version of themselves. Our bodies change, and we necessarily expect to go back to the weight we were when we were 25, and that's okay. So that, I say, that would be the cohort that have the biggest issue with wanting to be a weight that is just not attainable if health is also a priority.
Yes, I love that. And I think health should always be the priority, because when you're healthy, everything else becomes possible and so much easier. I do love it. So yes, health first, and weight is a perfectly reasonable and wonderful thing. Weight loss is a perfectly reasonable and wonderful thing to want if you do. And beautiful people like yourself, Ellie, and of course me and Lucy, can help you get there. So just let us know again, Ellie, if people want to find you, what's the best way to do that?
So I'm active on social media, primarily on Instagram. I haven't progressed to TikTok yet. So at Nutritionally is my handle. And then my website is nutritionally.com, where there's lots of resources to access, recipes, articles, and ebooks. And then, of course, if somebody wants to work with me, they can read about the options working with me one-on-one on my website as well.
Thank you so much. You are a fabulous clinician, a fabulous nutritionist, and a wonderful person. Thank you so much for sharing your expertise and your beautiful viewpoints today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Mary. I appreciate it too.
The information shared on the Real Health and Weight Loss podcast, including show notes and links, provides general information only. It is not a substitute, nor is it intended to provide individualised medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment, nor can it be construed as such. Please consult your doctor for any medical concerns.